Calendar says September. That means school buses are on the roads. Students are heading back to school. And with students back in school, that means the NHIAA is ready for a fall season of football, soccer, field hockey, volleyball, you name it. The NHIAA is putting it out on the field, pandemic permitting. Hello, everybody. I'm Kaden Zielinski here on Granite Town Media, welcoming you to another season of Spartan football here in Milford, where the Milford Spartans look to open their 2020 campaign Saturday on the road at John Stark Regional High School. Joining us tonight on the preseason preview show, head coach of the Milford Spartans, two-time champion, the legendary one, Keith Jones. We'll talk about his senior captains, small group of seniors, about 6. Far cry from 2 years ago when this team fielded over 20 seniors en route to an 8-win season. However, that season, as well as last year, resulted in first-round playoff losses by the Milford Spartans. Can they turn it around this season? We're going to talk to the head coach, Keith Jones, about exactly that this evening. Also, we hope to talk to a couple of Spartan captains and seniors as well. And if you're interested in football, stick around, because all season long, select games right here on Granite Town Media, Local Access Channel 20, Facebook, and YouTube. So on this rain-abbreviated preview show, joining us now, Associate Head Coach of the Milford Spartans, 13 years with the program, on his fourth quarterbacks, Associate Head Coach Rick Urda. Coach, thank you for joining us here on the preseason show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Want to talk a little X's and O's for the fans out there, maybe just tuning in to the Spartan football, getting to know Head Coach Jones' offense and defense. Maybe you can give us some of the basics without tipping your hand to any of your opposing coaches or whatever. What are we looking at on the field when the Spartans take the field Saturday at John Stark Regional?
So what you're probably going to be looking at is a lot of different formations. We're going to try to confuse and make our opponents plan or call timeouts for formations they might not be familiar with. So we're going to have kids all over the place in some funky sets, and those who are not used to seeing Milford like a John Stark program, we haven't played them in many years, might cause them to take a moment and call timeout and adjust things.
Let's start with the offense. What's the type of offense that head coach Keith Jones likes to run and that you've implemented over the years here?
Well, we like to run the ball. We would like to use power football to possess it. If we have the ball, the other team can't score, and run the clock. So put them in a bind. All right, we have the ball now. We feel like we need to score. That's what we want them. We want them to rush and panic. And if we grind it out on the ground, the other team's defense is going to be tired. And a lot of the programs, especially in Division II, have a lot of kids going both ways. So that will tire them on when they go to the offense side.
Base defense, what are we looking at, Coach?
Base defense, we're probably going to be an even front this year, meaning we're not going to have a nose guard. We could have 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. We could have 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. And, depending on what our frontage will be, will determine how many linebackers we'll have and the secondary coverage. In the preseason, we've run a lot of zone coverage, whereas in the past, we've primarily been a man coverage team.
2 seasons ago, the Spartans fielded almost 21 seniors, most of whom were regular contributors for several years leading up to that senior year. They went on to win 8 ball games. Not the case this year, 6 seniors on the team, so a lot of underclassmen are going to have to step up and play for you. Special challenges that presents to you as an X's and O's guy working with younger athletes.
Well, it's a lot of teaching time. We have to spend time with the individuals and go over not only techniques, because a lot of kids didn't play here last year, and a lot of the freshmen didn't have an opportunity to play youth sports last year, especially last fall. So it's been a challenge, but I have a great assistant with Coach Johnson on the offensive line, and we've been able to split up and get the kids more reps and more teaching time. The same thing in the secondary. We have a bunch of young kids that haven't played in our system before, and Coach Morelli and Coach Scannell have been great in teaching and implementing the schemes that we would like to run successfully. And we've had a lot of young kids really pick up the pace, and it really is based on the quality senior leadership that we have in the program. Kids like Ben Kilgore on the offensive line are taking kids aside and saying, here's what you need to do, this is how you should take your steps, and this is where you should strike your man. And kids in the secondary, like Trice Cody, just helping out. Here's how you align. Here's what your read is and key, and how you react off of that. So it's been really a pleasure this preseason of having a blend of experienced kids working with the inexperienced kids. And the inexperienced kids really putting value in that and really taking the teaching to heart and getting better every day.
One of the things that Coach Jones and I spoke about just a few moments ago were the unique challenges that NHIAA realignment may present to teams with new teams that coming into the conference, teams maybe that you haven't seen for 4 or 5 years,
right.
but being with the program for 13 years, you've probably seen most of them at least once. You have some teams you haven't seen for a while, a Lebanon,
right.
Bo you see in the state playoffs every year, but John Stark, for example, you're opening the season with. As you're preparing both your offense and your defense, what special challenges does that present to you?
Well, we have to do our homework. It's really kind of refreshing to have new teams on the schedule each and every year. It makes you work hard. You have to do your homework. You have to watch your game film. You have to go scouting. You can't just rely on, this particular coach has been with this program for 10 years now, and he really hasn't changed much his defense and his offense. You know what plays are coming. You know what defensive schemes are coming. You just have to figure out who their best kids are. Now, we're going to John Stark on Saturday. Brand new coach this year, new schemes, offensively, defensively, and special teams. So this past Saturday morning, we were over at Pelham scouting John Stark and studying the film afterwards to see what our opponent's going to do.
That pencil in the ear and the play sheet behind his back tells you that he is the X's and O's coach here with the Milford Spartan program. Rick Urda, 13 years with the program. 4 sons have played quarterback coming through this program. Coach, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Coach's Corner Show. The preseason show, getting ready for Spartan football, coming at you Saturday, 2 p.m. at John Stark Regional High School. Coach, good luck this season.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Joining us now on the Coach's Corner Show, the legendary head coach of the Milford Spartans, state champion head coach Keith Jones. Coach, great to see you. What a difference a year makes, huh?
Oh, great to be back in some normalcy.
Normalcy?
I call it normalcy. We're outside. It's not, it wasn't September when we started. The kids are running around. It's great stuff.
Let's talk about a year ago. You went into that season really not even sure if you were going to go to school, much less have a football season. Tell us a little bit about the 2020 campaign.
It was a really tough campaign. We had a lot of kids that didn't play because of COVID. We had a thin group. We were probably under 50 guys. A lot of young guys didn't come out, so they missed that year of experience. The other young guys we did have, they had to get playing time because we were so thin. We knew that the schedule was going to be weird. It came out we were going to have to play certain teams twice. We lose Zielinski after the first game for the rest of the campaign.
A super sophomore the year before, Kaden Zielinski figured to be a big part of your offensive and defensive game plan.
Yeah, he was the major part of our offense, especially, and you could see the difference when he wasn't around, and just a team leader. That part of it too. So, tough. It was a tough go, but you know what? A lot of states didn't get to play football. We did. We were happy to play our 5 games. It helped these younger guys that are going to start for us this year. They got some playing time under their belt, and we'll see what happens.
Talk to us about some of those younger guys. You're starting another Urda, not Gavin Urda, who was your super senior 2 seasons ago, but younger brother Chuck.
Charlie got to play last year in those 5 games. He did a heck of a job as a sophomore. He's gotten bigger, stronger, and faster as a junior. He looks fantastic. He's going to be fine.
Same offense, Coach?
Yeah, same stuff, triple midline option. We love to keep people guessing. We've got a couple wrinkles in there as well, and putting some stuff so that the Zielinski kid carries the ball a little more. It'd be fun to watch.
Sticking with the offense, though, let's talk about that line of yours. This offense is typically built around smaller offensive linemen that are athletic and can get out and play. 2 years ago, you had a big line.
Yeah, not only are we not big, we're small and slow.
Small and slow. You're supposed to be small and fast, Coach.
We've had to do some work on the line. All those big boys graduated.
Who can we look for on the line this year, Coach?
Ben Kilgore is the anchor of our line. 3-year starter, senior. 6'3", 235-pound kid. He eats, breathes, lives football. He's out here flipping tires by himself every night. Kid loves it. But
Are those tires on cars, or are they out on the field?
tractor tires.
Tractor tires. There you go. Okay.
And then, unfortunately, in our last scrimmage, one of our returner starters, Matt Rolon, had a knee injury. It looks like he's probably done for the year. And then everybody else coming back is brand new. Brand new. So we've had to convert a couple fullbacks into guards. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. We'll stick with that line as well. A lot of youth there as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, right now we're starting, 2 conversions and a sophomore, over there. So same thing. It's going to be interesting. Everybody in behind that, whether on offense or defense, the skilled guys are all veterans. So that's nice. Sometimes they can make you look good. But up front on both sides, it's going to be a blind date.
Kane Zielinski probably going to lead your linebacking core again this year.
Absolutely, he's still in the middle. With not newbies, but Chris Kotzevis and Cade Cloutier, who's a sophomore that started for us as a freshman. So nice little group there, very athletic, very side-to-side guys. And then you got Barnhill in the secondary with Trice Cody and Charlie Urda. So
we don't always talk about special teams, but you've been blessed for a couple of seasons with some pretty good kickers here, borrowing some from the soccer team some years and so forth. Tell us a little bit about the special teams, Coach.
Well, Colin Gregg, this will be his senior year. He's been with us for a while now. He looks fantastic. I mean, I can't judge because the field's not marked, but it looks like his kickoffs are going through the end zone right now. He kicked a field goal the other day, would have been good from 50. He looks fantastic. And then as far as the punting game goes, we're kind of punting by committee right now, so we don't really know where we're at there. Hopefully we'll go for it.
So we've talked about some of the seniors and upperclassmen, but you've always had an underclassman that stepped up, whether it was 2 years ago with Barnhill and Zielinski and so forth. Any young players to watch this season, Coach?
Yeah, right now, we got the Jones kid starting at tight end. He's only a sophomore. Michael Lima starting at safety on the other side of the ball. He's only a sophomore. Other backs that, like I said, Cade Cloutier, he's starting at fullback and linebacker. He's only a sophomore. Caleb Francor, getting a lot of playing time at linebacker, only a sophomore. So we got plenty of guys in there that are young, a little youth movement in the skilled area.
Let's talk about this Division II NHI football season. Realignment over the last season or two. Instead of a north-south conferences, now they're east and west conferences. Some teams have moved. The geography doesn't always match up. But what do you make of this?
I'd love to know how it became east-west by the way they've done it. Very odd to me. It doesn't. I guess they use 93 as the barrier.
You've got a new team.
Last time I checked, Plymouth was on the left side of 93 when you get off the highway. Wouldn't that put them in the west?
Let's not let the facts get in the way of a good story, Coach. Come on now.
Anyway,
you opened the season, for example, with John Stark. Now they were a Division III team not that long ago, I believe.
But they were in Division II for years. They were in our conference for years before they went to that north-south thing. So it's a return. We haven't probably played them in at least 4 or 5 years now. We got Lebanon back on the schedule, Hanover back on the schedule, teams that we haven't played in years.
And some tough teams, not only tough because
perennial playoff teams.
Perennial playoffs, multiple-time state champions, whatever division they play in.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
You've got Bow coming into your conference.
We've got Bow, and then we still got Sauhegan and Hollis Brookline, and then, wait a minute. We got our crossover with Timberlane. That was a great one.
Former Division I school not that long ago.
Former Division I school, 1,400-something kids in their school. And, like a lot of teams last year, they started all sophomores and juniors. So, fantastic.
How does Milford get so lucky, Coach?
How do we get so? I don't know.
Well, let's preview this first game against John Stark, Saturday, 2 o'clock at their place before you come home for a Friday night tilt, second game of the year against Sauhegan. We'll talk about them next week, but let's talk about John Stark, the Generals out of Ware. What are you expecting from them?
New coach this year, Coach Kershaw. He was up at Newfound in Mascoma for years. They like to play what we call small ball. They play a lot of double tight, double wing, toss action football, keep it between the tackles, grind it out 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So we like that kind of football.
I was just going to say, a man after your own coaching style.
So we're excited to play them again. They don't look like they have a lot of numbers, but the kids we've seen out there are pretty good. They got some good talent in the backfield. So I'm hoping a dogfight. On Saturday.
Who else
See what
looks strong
happens.
in the conference, Coach? You mentioned Bow
Everybody.
and Lebanon, and
Oh,
you
God.
even got Manchester West.
Everyone,
Those
you
kids
know.
hit hard.
We got Sauhegan next week, and I mean, they lost a lot of kids to graduation, but they got plenty of great athletes out there. Then we go to Lebanon, and Jack Stone is as good as it gets in the division. I mean, he runs a legit 4.4 40 in high school, which is you don't see all the time. Then after that, you got Bow, who's been in and out of the championship of the playoffs for years now. They're ready to go. Manchester West is always improving, and then like I said, Hollis. You never know what's going to come out of that factory.
With a meat grinder of a schedule, keys to success for your program this year.
We got to stay healthy. We are thin. We are thin. I mean, we got some skilled kids that could step up and do some stuff, but right now, I mean, we're really playing with about 7 linemen in the whole program. So.
He's the legendary one. Head coach Keith Jones of the Milford Spartans. 2021 season on tap starts Saturday, 2 o'clock in Ware, John Stark Regional High School. The Generals and the Spartans get it on to start the season. Granite Town Media won't be there this week, but we'll be here for select games throughout the rest of the season, and you can catch him on the Coach's Corner show together with me, Kevin St. Ange, throughout the season. For Granite Town Media, Facebook page, YouTube, other platforms, welcome to the 2021 season, Milford Spartans.